Hi, this is John from MJG Education. Today our presentation is about PTE academic reading, multiple choice, multiple answer. This presentation will cover test instructions, test procedure, things you should know to be test wise, 3 types of prompts that you should know, and a conclusion. The test instructions as they'll appear on the exam. Read the text and answer the question by selecting all the correct responses. More than one response is correct. The square buttons indicate a multiple choice answer question as opposed to the round buttons for multiple choice single answer. Allow yourself a maximum of 2 minutes 45 seconds to 3 minutes only for this task. The reason why is a lot of people don't finish the reading section because they're always looking for a second answer with multiple choice, multiple answer. In terms of test procedure, you'll always have to read the prompt carefully. There's 3 prompts that I'm going to look at today: the author's perspective, the limiting prompt, and according to the text. What you should do is skim the response options quickly. So those are the answers. You look through to see what you're going to be skimming and scanning for. Identify keywords. Note that they might use synonymous language in the answer options, and try to locate your answers in the text. Choose from the options that are left and try not to guess after you have one answer. Sometimes, especially with number 1, the author's perspective, and sometimes with the limiting prompt, your best choice is just to get one answer and go on. Like I said earlier, a lot of people don't finish the reading text because they keep looking for a second answer, and sometimes they guess. In terms of skills, you should have knowledge of a topic sentence to know that a topic sentence has a topic and a controlling idea. Knowledge of support sentences that support a controlling idea. Detail, most likely they'll use empirical evidence, quotes from experts sometimes, or examples. Know how to make an inference, a conclusion according to the evidence. Sometimes that's a prompt question. And note synonymous language, of course, because when you go from the answer key and you move to the text to look for the key words, sometimes they use synonymous language. They change the words, but the meaning remains relatively the same. Some things you should know about this particular task. You will only get 2 or 3 of these on the test. So the marks will vary between 4 possible marks and 9. That's the maximum 9. So this is the 4th highest score in the reading section. The reading texts are up to 300 words long. There may be as many as 5 to 7 answer choices. Try not to guess an answer because you get 1 point for a correct answer, but you have negative marking in this case, so you lose 1 mark for an incorrect answer. Okay? If you look at the scoring on the right-hand side here, it says this is a good answer. This is what I was referring to earlier. Sometimes people take too much time. They get into multiple choice, multiple answer. It's not a high-scoring question on the test, but they think they got to get all the answers, and they end up guessing. So they end up getting 0. Like they'll guess one answer and one other answer they'll find it might be correct, but they cancel each other out so they get 0. If you still get one answer correct, like if you find one answer and just leave, you're probably going to be doing okay. Like I said, when we look at these different types of prompts, the 3rd type of prompt that allows you to, it says according to the text, that's where you can go after all the answers. But the other 2, especially when it says the author says, it's very difficult. Don't waste your time and go over 30 minutes because you're looking for another answer. Don't do that. This is what everybody does. Try not to do that on this test. You can pause your screen now if you want to read through this written text. What I'm trying to show you is the prompt here, according to the passage the author says. This is a difficult prompt for multiple choice, multiple answer on this test because the author in the yellow, if you look at the yellow words in the text here, it says conspiracy theorists have believed that the auto, oil, and car companies secretly did in the smokeless trolleys to promote the need for the sales of their products. That's what the author will do. He'll step in behind and suggest conspiracy theorists, and that will show up as an answer. But that's not what the author's point is, right? The author says, the author didn't say that. It's the conspiracy theorist said that. So that's the sort of move that they're going to pull on this test all the time. You have to stay focused. When you look at the green letters in the text where it says, once both were gone, so was the golden age of mass transit in Los Angeles. Now that's the narrator's voice. That's the author's voice. That if that shows up as an answer on the text, you'd be quite correct to go after it. So just be careful. The author's point of view is sometimes hidden behind other voices or other narrative forms that he throws up in front of you. The second type of prompt you should be aware of is the limiting prompt. This prompt sort of divides the text. You actually know where you should be looking for your correct answers. But it's a little tricky because they'll always throw in the answer section some of the information found in the paragraph where you shouldn't be looking. So here, the prompt says, which of the following statements about trade can be supported by the new theory outlined in the text? And I've highlighted the green area. In the start of that second paragraph, this is where they start talking about the new theories. So the correct answers will be found in the second paragraph and below. This is an abbreviated text, of course. So in the first paragraph, they'll throw in misnomers or misleading answer types here. So here they suggest Ricardo's idea of free trade has been proven to be always true. Ricardo, you'll find, is in the first paragraph, and this isn't where you're going to find a correct answer. So you just have to be aware of what they do with the prompts sometimes to know where to find your correct answers. The third prompt you should be aware of is the one that begins according to the text. When they give you this introduction to the prompt, this always means you can go for a one-to-one correspondence with the answer key and the text. It's not always appropriate to do this if it's more about the meaning, as we saw with the author, or the limiting prompt. You'd probably fall into doing the same thing, but you'd have to cut up the text first to find where the answers are. Here, you can just simply scan for your keywords. For example, in the first one it says petrosaurs were vertebrates. So you'd look for the keyword petrosaurs and maybe the word vertebrates, highlighted in yellow here. Then you'd read that part of the text. You've skimmed to find these words. Now you're scanning for the meaning to see if it corresponds with A. And that's all you're doing. Here you would say, oh, this could be a correct answer. So you note it, and then you can go to B, C, D, E and do exactly the same thing. You don't have to worry about the narrator tricking you or anything because it just says, according to the text, which of the following were true about petrosaurs. So you're just looking for true or false all the way through. This would take you about 3 minutes, and it's perfect for the test. Always try and get at least 2 answers when it says, according to the text. In conclusion, remember there is negative marking, and that there will only be 4 to 9 marks awarded for multiple choice, multiple answer, which is dependent on you getting 2 or 3 on your exam. The maximum number they would give you would be 3 correct answers. So 3 questions with 3 correct answers, that would be 9 marks. If you only get 2 and there's only 2 correct answers for both, 4. So that's how we decide this range, 4 to 9 marks. It's actually the 4th highest score, if you will, for the reading part of the PTE academic. So it's not a big one. That's why with the negative marking, you just want to have correct answers. Even if you only get 1, you'll still have a great chance of getting 79 if you at least get 1 correct answer. If you give 1 correct answer, 1 wrong answer, you'll get 0. So that's why we always say 1 answer, correct answer, is infinitely better than 0, right? If the prompt says, according to the text, remember, that's where you can probably go find your 2 or 3 correct answers right there. The other prompts that I went over today, be careful, okay? Because a lot of people get tripped up and they're choosing. They'll use the exact same words that they use in the text in the answer key, and you're going to think that's correct, but it'll be in the wrong section or it won't be in the narrator's voice. So always be careful there. You can follow MJG Education on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Tumblr. We'll be updating that constantly, as with our homepage. We specialize in tutorials for the time being as our website is being developed. So tutorials in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. We also do lots of mock tests that include feedback, oral feedback, if we do them through Zoom, and of course you'll get feedback in a written form as well. We like to emphasize too that we're a Canadian company. You can save 35% if you're dealing with companies that charge you in US dollars. By all means, come back and check us out. We'll save you a fortune. Anyways, thank you very much and have a nice day wherever you are.